Is he?
Because it was Jack who was ranked please. It's sort of like when they start alternating each other.
Right. Harry, why else is it pivotal? Look, you're playing the piano there.
Because for the first time, Piggy's actually been harmed. Because it was obvious from the start that he was the weakest in the group and he was going to get bullied and hurt eventually. But it's a turning point where now they're not afraid to hurt him. Get out of that civilized thing where, oh, we can't.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it? It's that sign too of not being afraid to hurt those who are weak in the group. And this is coming from Jack. You know, and Jack now is crossed the line. Sherelle, can you just pop your... Thank you. It's going to be that. Oh, the other thing, and I bet you get told this all the time, it's going to be your top button. Is there any need for that childish behaviour, Lucas? I don't think so.
What's it?
Behind your mask. What age are you? 5. No, I know you didn't say anything. It was just
No,
immature behaviour, Jack. Immature. Right. So again, it's this idea about not being afraid to hurt the weak. And also, Jack, doesn't he? He fractures that. It's been a very fragile unity that the group has had up until now, but that is completely fractured here because you have the hunters all sort of cheering Jack on, saying, yeah, that's great. And then you've got Ralph's kind of civilized group. And even Ralph at this moment doesn't know how to behave. There's one other thing that is vital in this moment, and it is there in the text. We'll come to it.
Jack uses Piggy's glasses to make a fire.
Doesn't? Not Jack.
Ralph.
Ralph.
They can't make fire.
They can't make fire because he's still got one lens.
One of them knelt over.
What's the relationship between Ralph and Jack been up till now?
A fight for leadership.
Hey, what went?
A fight for leadership.
No. See, don't just keep shouting out. Think before you say. Sorry.
Civilized.
Well, I don't know if it's civilized, but
They do argue to each other, but
yeah,
like normal leaders in the...
yeah. Do they work as a pair as such? Do they respect each other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because they're a lot alike, except the fact that they're alike, but Jack likes to hurt more.
Well, Ralph doesn't like to hurt, does he? And so there has been a kind of an alliance between Jack and Ralph as the two kind of joint leaders of the group. You know, it's that idea, isn't it? However, who does Ralph transfer his allegiance to in this very episode? Who does he very visibly side with? And it breaks that Jack-Ralph bond.
Is he badly affected or not that bad?
Yeah. Well, if you read the book, you know he is. What does Piggy say he is without his glasses? Blind.
Yeah, sure.
When he's gone up to Castle Rock, who does he have to be led by?
Jack, Martin.
Sam.
He goes up with Ralph and
Roger.
Roger splatters him over the whole
I
island.
thought it was Sam and Eric and Ralph.
It's Sam and Eric, isn't it? When they're going up to Castle Rock, at the end, at the very end, when it's just Sam and Eric, Ralph, a few little ones, and Piggy. When they go up to try to get Piggy's glasses back, Piggy can't walk because he can't see, and he has to sort of place his hand on Sam and Eric and be led by them. They're his eyes. Because he's as blind as a bat. Okay. Now, who do you feel most sympathy for in this scene where we just this if we just get it here, isn't it? This first section here. So the job was too much. We needed everyone. Ralph turned. You could have had everyone when the shelters were finished, but you had to hunt. We needed meat. Jack stood up as he said this, the bloodied knife in his hand. The two boys faced each other. There was a brilliant world of hunting, tactics, fierce exhilaration, skill, and there was the world of longing and baffled common sense. Jack transferred the knife to his left hand and smudged blood over his forehead as he pushed down the plastered hair. Piggy began again. You didn't ought to have let that fire out. You said you'd keep the smoke going. This from Piggy, and the wails of agreement from some of the hunters drove Jack to violence. The bolting look came into his blue eyes. He took a step and, able at last to hit someone, stuck his fist into Piggy's stomach. Piggy sat down with a grunt. Jack stood over him. His voice was vicious with humiliation. You would you, fatty? And Ralph made a step forward and Jack smacked Piggy's head. Piggy's glasses flew and tinkled on the rocks. Piggy cried out in terror. My specs! He went crouching and feeling over the rocks, but Simon, who got there first, found them for him. Passions beat about Simon on the mountain top with awful wings. One side's broken. And Piggy grabbed and put on the glasses. He looked malevolently at Jack. I've got to have them specs. I've only got one eye. Just you wait. And Jack made a move towards Piggy, who scrambled away till a great rock lay between them. He thrust his head over the top and glared at Jack through his one flashing eye. And you then have it's mimicry of him by Jack. The others join in and they all think it's funny. And Ralph, it goes on to say, he was angry with himself for giving himself away, and he mutters. He can't speak out loudly. He just mutters. That was a dirty trick. So, two questions. Do you agree? Is that a dirty trick to play on Piggy? And do you feel complete and utter sympathy for Piggy here?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Why yes?
Jack just shows violence towards him, whereas he's not really done much wrong.
Yeah, it's unprovoked. So why do you say no, Harry?
Because he starts having a go at Jack.
Yeah, but after.
He's of course going to have something back at him and then
Yeah, he said just you wait.
But
Yeah, but Jack's like really stressed out trying to get his pig and he knows that.
Well,
He's
no,
just trying
like,
to get it.
it's Piggy's actions that made him stressed out.
oh, now we're now Harry getting into the world of, do you know what victim blaming is, don't you?
Yeah, but Harry said just you wait after you get the specs broken.
Yeah. How many people have called Jack out for being an idiot and letting the fire go out? A lot of people. He doesn't go and batter Ralph in the stomach. He doesn't go and batter anybody else in the stomach.
Yeah, but he doesn't like.
But why? Hang on. Why does he batter Piggy?
Why not? Because he's
Because
he's
they're not-
tired.
Because he's an easy target. Because he knows he can.
Yeah, but maybe he's secretly in love with Ralph and thinks Piggy's taking him away. Or
That's just wrong, Sherelle, on so many levels.
you never know. It's the day they said I was only full of boys, so you've got to get creative, I suppose.
No, no, you don't. Only maybe in your mind, Sherelle.
That's a weird one.
It was Piggy, but it wasn't, like, the whole attack wasn't unprovoked because he'd been provoked.
You've been provoked. Well, yeah. Right, so we've got total sympathy for Piggy here. You know, poor guy's got smacked. He's smacked a couple of times. Glasses are broken.
Yeah, thank you.
So here's my next question to you. So here, and all the way through the text, isn't it? You know, Piggy has been played out here as being the kind of the victim. He's a kid who's been bullied at school. He's going to get bullied on the island, all that sort of stuff. But he's also held up as being the kind of civilizing influence in a way, the one who's got all the answers, the one who thinks things through, the one who maybe who should have been a leader, but because of the way he physically looks, it's never going to happen. He's not popular with the kids, and so he's not going to be elected leader. Yet, this character, which we would say is morally good, is also an integral part of the killing of Simon. An equally pivotal moment in this text. What about the Piggy that is involved in that? Is he?
He was probably afraid because they all thought he was the beast. So all he wanted to just feel like a part of something, like killing the beast.
Is that true?
The hero.
Is that true? Is he, as Jess said, oh, he just behaved that way because he was scared. He thought it was the beast. Is that true?
Well, no, like he wanted to. If he probably truly believed it was the beast, he wanted to be like, yeah.
But did he? But my question to you is, did he? And this again is about how closely we read a text. This is a way of checking. Does Peggy know that he's killed Simon? Or been part of the group that's killed Simon?
Yes.
No, because, no.
Who says no?
They jumped on top of him.
No. Who said yeah? Close.
They saw a dark shadow come from the jungle and they thought it was.
Very slow. We were slower.
They saw a dark figure come from the jungle and they thought it was the beast. They didn't know something.
But what about the conversation that Peggy and Ralph have the next moment?
Oh, he does know he's killed Simon.
And Ralph knows as well, and Ralph is wanting to call it what it is, but what does Peggy say to him?
Keep it a secret.
Yeah, they were
He
trying to
says,
explain
no,
it on the
it's not that, you've got to stop saying that, no, we didn't do it, we didn't, and it's Ralph who
They
says
were
it.
trying to
That,
convince themselves that they
that
were
was
behind
murder, and at that point, Peggy, his moral compass, gets completely chucked out the window. And he won't face up to what he's done, he won't face up to his actions, and it's interesting because the characters seem to be drawn in very crystal clear way. Certainly in the first half of this text, you know, we can put them into various camps. You know, Jack is slightly psychotic. You know, he's a very violent kid. He needs power and all that sort of stuff. But bit narcissistic. Do you know what that word means? If you describe somebody as being narcissistic, what are they?
He's obsessed with himself.
Obsessed. They love themselves. Yeah, that kind of idea. Yeah, and that's kind of Jack in a nutshell. Peggy, you know, he appears to be this good, morally good person. He wants to, you know, take names, get organised, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. Yet, even he, under pressure, cracks. And he becomes like all the rest, as does Ralph. But at least Ralph acknowledges that. He recognises that what they have done is crossing the line. But Piggy won't accept that. He won't admit to that, which makes it quite interesting. In this whole scene with the you know, the glasses getting broken, the attack on Piggy, who do we think is most at fault here in this sort of clash of the two camps between the boys here? Who would you say is most at fault in this situation?
The hunters.
All right.
The hunters.
Why the hunters?
Because not in the first place. Like, letting the fire out, focusing on hunting rather than actually getting rescued. And people would just had enough of their actions.
They were trying to get food for them. Yeah, but it wasn't just that they actually.
Yeah, that was their
ordered it.
excuse.
Yeah,
That was
that was
just
like,
to be able to
yeah.
use it.
But I mean, let's go. I mean, where is it now? Is it going up? Is it up? Further up? Further up? Yeah. There's this little section, isn't there? Because we get the fire, and it says, before these fantastically attractive flowers of violet and red and yellow and kindness melted away, it became a circle of boys around a campfire, and even Piggy and Ralph were half drawing in. Soon some of the boys were rushing down from the slope for more wood while Jack hacked the pig. They tried holding the whole carcass on a stake over the fire, but the stake burnt more quickly than the pig roasted. In the end, they skewered bits of meat and branches and had them in the flames, and even then, almost as much boy was roasted as meat. Ralph watered. He meant to refuse meat as pastime of fruit and nuts with an odd crab or fish, accepted a half raw meat and gnawed it like a wolf. Piggy spoke, also dribbling. Aren't I having none? And Jack had meant to leave him in doubt as an assertion of power, but Piggy, by advertising his omission, made more cruelty necessary. You didn't hunt. No more did Ralph, said Piggy wetly, nor Simon. And he amplified, there wasn't more than a half worth of meat in that crab. Ralph stirred uneasily, and Simon, sitting between the twins and Piggy, wiped his mouth and shoved his piece of meat over the rocks to Piggy, who grabbed it. The twins giggled, and Simon lowered his face in shame. Then Jack leapt to his feet, slashed off a great hunk of meat, and flung it down at Simon's feet. Eat, damn you. Is this just about getting some meat? Or is there something more at play here? Why does Jack get so aggressive over this?
Because he wants the others to be like, oh, thank you so much.
You're the best, yeah.
What is quite worrying about that? What does that begin to show that Jack will use?
Bribery.
Well, it's not so much bribery here, is it? What will he do if you fall out of favour with Jack? What will he do to you? Starve you. He's using food. Even food becomes a weapon for Jack. He decides who eats, who doesn't get, who gets the prime bit of meat, and then, as you say, everybody has to be beholden to Jack. I'm the hunter, and even as other hunters have to wait for him, don't they? He is the chief. He decides who will eat and when. Yeah, and this is what kind of happens later on, isn't it? This is exactly what he does, because he knows that for anybody who won't join him, you're going to starve. Without you're not going to eat.
What page is that one?
Well, I'm taking it from the PDF one, so that's page 60 on that one. Yeah. And he feels that, because Simon's done the decent thing, hasn't he? He passes some food to Piggy. He recognises this is wrong, but again, Jack realises he can't sort of turn on Simon. He can't just deal physically with Simon as he did with Piggy. They won't tolerate that. They won't accept that. So again, he gets him, and it's not just any old bit of meat he gives him. It's a great hunk of meat. And he throws it down at Simon's feet, and it says, "Eat, damn you." It's almost, Kate, he's almost doing what to Simon there with the food? Think about it. He's getting this big bit of meat, and he's just chucked it down at his feet and he said, right, eat it, damn you.
Feeling like a dog.
I didn't realise your name was Kate. Yeah, I did.
Nobody heard it.
You're full of moans, you are. Kate,
It's like making tea on the marble, it's like glittering.
there is a bit of that. And obviously Simon's eaten already. So by making him eat more, it's almost as if he's doing what? Force feeding.
Didn't they say that Simon's like really thin and bony and stuff?
They're already said, I know.
Yeah.
How's Piggy managed to still be really fat when he's barely got any food?
Oh, really?
Yeah, genuinely.
Kind of got a point.
Curious about that.
You're curious about a few things, Sherelle, haven't you? I mean, your voice, I mean, you know, the sort of bromance between Ralph and Jack. There's certainly a lot of tension there. And when we're talking about this sort of weaponizing of food here by Jack, it kind of swings both ways. Either it's, you know, you get starved, or else, you know, you'll eat it, damn you, I've hunted this. You will show me the decency of eating this food that I've got for you. And you will be grateful. You know, and nobody dare kind of defy him. And even here, at this moment, who is almost, well, who's peripheral to all of this? Who appears to be quite useless and pointless at this moment?
Ralph.
Ralph, the leader. The supposed leader is nowhere. And again, it's all this sort of latent aggression that there is with Jack. First with the glasses, now with the meat, saying, right, eat, damn you, you know, all that sort of thing, violence in his language, violence in his sort of his own sort of presence here. And Ralph just remains pretty quiet, very subdued against this kind of onslaught. Does he show leadership qualities?
Who, Jack or Ralph?
Ralph.
No.
No. Isn't it? There's a kind of abnegation of power here. He steps into this. Does this feast remind you of anything else? Where they were all sort of drawn in as a circle of boys, and Ralph and Piggy are even half drawn in. Hmm?
They open with the laws of the flies.
The con.
Have you got a clue here? Does this foreshadow a future?
It's the human. But no Piggy was human. No?
Excuse me?
No, they didn't.
Excuse me? What were they doing before they all turned and beat the living daylights out of Simon?
Eating.
And what did they were in a circle. And who joined the circle late? Piggy and Ralph. And who were dribbling? They thought, oh, we're not going to eat much, but they soon started dribbling and all that sort of stuff. The exact same as happens here. And what happens at the end of this? What happens? Kill the pig, cut the throat, bash her in. What were they doing before they killed Simon?
They were dancing.
Is this foreshadowing?
Yeah.
It is, by the bucket load. See, you tell me you read. You've got to read closely, folks. Got to read closely. Yeah.
So basically, I didn't realise that. Like, I didn't realise Simon had been killed at one point and why they'd killed him. Then when I read on, then I went back again and read it. I was like, oh.
He's dead.
Doesn't make much sense.
So when we have feasts following, you know, a pattern, it goes through the same thing. Like we go into the circle, we do the dance, we do the chant, and they go through the same motions each time when they're doing the dance, isn't it? They start off with this one, this way. We start this way and that way. That way. It's become what for them? I'm thinking of a word that begins with R. No, it's not a routine. They're on an island. They're becoming savages. It's ritualistic behaviour is beginning to kick in. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There we go. And that, as they say, will be that for today's lesson. Okay.
What time's our lunch? I don't know what time we.
Oh, you're 10, I think. Yeah. As Cheryl said, they are 12:40. Yeah.
Is that when year 10 goes in though?
That is when year 10 go in. That's your slot begins. 12:40 to 12 or 1, is it? No, no. Well done. That was a good lesson. We did do that. Yeah, good. Yeah. Oh, you were there. Jack was there.